Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Hope everyone's well. I'm just gonna wait for a few more folks. I don't know what's wrong with Facebook Live today. It's not being my friend. Excuse all this extra stuff that you see up here. I'm going to a gala this evening, and I got my makeup done at Le Jamalak, which is a Arab Muslim woman-owned salon in South Brooklyn in Bay Ridge. And I took the lipstick off so y'all can see that later. And I put eyelashes on for like the second time in my life. But I'm doing a Facebook Live today because so many people have been reaching out to me, and I felt like I would just rather respond to everybody in one post. And the reason why I put this together is because, as folks probably see, there have been another coordinated right-wing attack on me. And I know you're all thinking to yourself, like, what's new here? Like, nothing new. This is just a story of your life. I wake up to this pretty much every single day. And I always like to figure out how to take a situation and really rationalize why it's happening, and also to encourage people and to let people understand that what's happening to me, there's a reason why it's happening to me. This is not some coincidence that the right wing gets up coordinated to attack me. There's a reason why this is happening. And the reason why I think it's important for people to understand why this is happening, because it will give you some perspective. So the coordinated right wing, and the usual suspects, I'm talking about the Breitbarts, the Daily Callers, the Act for America, which is one of the largest anti-Muslim organizations in the entire country. I mean, there's a whole bunch of players that are been engaging in this type of defamation and slander of Muslim leaders for a really long time. And they, in the past few weeks, I'd say, or maybe past few months, in particular since the Women's March on Washington, they kind of escalated in their attacks. And I think the reason why is, who do I think I am? What the audacity that I have as a Muslim American woman who wears hijab, who is unapologetically Palestinian and will stay unapologetically who I am every day, that someone who, no matter what they do, I still continue to find ways to do the work that I do. And the reason why what they're doing is, and what they do every time, which is really sad actually, is that if you look at the dates of their the different attacks, there was one immediately after the Women's March, and then there was one a couple of weeks back after the Women's March, and then there's one this week. Is they basically recycle the same things they've been saying over and over again and make it seem like there's new information. There is no new information. And what they want me to do is they want me to somehow put me up against the wall and want me to denounce who I am and what I believe. I will not be defined by how other people want to define my religion and the way that I follow it. I am a Muslim, and I live in the United States of America, and I am to be able to practice my religion freely. So as long as I am not imposing my religion on anybody else, so as long as the way that I practice my religion does not impact or infringe on the way you want to practice your faith, and for those who don't have faith, as long as what I do doesn't impact you or what my community does, as long as we are building mosques based on zoning laws, as long as we are wearing hijab because we are allowed to do that in this country, there is no reason for you to care about what I believe. Okay, this obsession with this idea that there's some evil Muslim agenda that we're trying to take over the country is ludicrous. First of all, Muslims have been in these United States of America before it was even called the United States of America. So the fact that there is some obsession from a very small, coordinated part of the right wing doesn't really bother me. I actually, for me personally, the way that I see it is that I have become an effective leader one who is unapologetic about who I am. And the lessons to be learned from this is that over the course of the 16 years that I have been a social justice activist, I have built relationships, like deep relationships. Like I have put myself on the line for others, and I chose to do that. Nobody told me to do that. I have committed myself, my family, and my children to a cause that I believe in. And guess why I do that? Not because I think it's cool to be attacked and for people to vilify, slander, and defame me, or because I want to get death threats or for people to want to harm me. This is not some luxurious, I may look luxurious now with the makeup that Leja Malik just did for me, but this work that I do is not luxurious. When I have to go to public events and have security for myself, so the irony of the situation is that the very people who are spewing that somehow I follow some violent commandments of my religion are the same people who want to inflict that violence on me. Every morning I wake up to deportation, assassination, or rape. I mean, if you want to teach me how to be nonviolent, if you want to teach me to be peaceful, you may want to engage in that by yourself first. Let's set an example. The second thing that is really important here to point out is that the profile of the type of people who attack me or who are considering themselves to be my enemy are pretty much all the right people that I want to hate me. I am a social justice leader. I stand up for the rights of all people. I am a person who has my track record in social justice is so crystal clear, it's almost ridiculous how clear it is. I am not afraid, and I will not be silenced. This is an example that has happened over and over and over again in history, and I am not about to let history repeat itself, and I'm sure in hell not going to be the scapegoat or the sacrificial lamb for the right wing. I will continue doing what I do. And the reason why I will continue to do what I do, and the thing that drives them crazy, is that I am not in their pockets. I am not in the pockets of corporations. These people don't pay my rent. No, the fact that I'm able to do this work with the support of people in my own community, the fact that I can do this work based on my own skill set, I'm not in their pocket. I'm not owned by anybody. I don't have to say what somebody tells me to say. I say what I want to say because I thought that I was born and raised in the United States of America and that I can say what I want. Now, people want to make a comparison. So the recent controversy that I'm in right now, the unnecessary controversy that doesn't need to happen, is that there is an assemblyman named Dov Hikind in Brooklyn who, believe it or not, everybody, believe it or not, this is why Linda is a small d, like not a capital D. He's a Democrat. And he is a right-wing Zionist. He has, over the years, has been outrageous around endorsing racial and religious profiling. He wore blackface on Purim. Let me repeat that one more time. White man wears blackface on Purim and thinks it's some kind of joke, like he was wearing a Halloween mask. Like, this is a guy who is in the state legislature, who's supposed to be representing New Yorkers. Like, this is the kind of people who are after me, because a right-wing Zionist can't fathom to see a strong, independent Palestinian woman who is organizing with young people, and in particular with young people of color, who is embraced by faith leaders from across the community and across the country, and in particular very close with many Jewish leaders across the country, many of whom have been at the front lines of social justice here in the United States of America. Those are my friends, okay? Now, let's get something very straight about Dov Hikind. So Dov Hikind created a non-controversy to ask that CUNY Graduate Center for Public Health disinvite me as their commencement speaker. Yes, petty white man that's using my taxpayer dollars, New Yorkers' taxpayer dollars, to attack a Muslim woman in hijab, a mother of 3 New York City public school students, A woman who has dedicated her life to serving in her community. And when I say my community, I don't mean the Arab and Muslim community. I've been serving my community. So what I'm saying to you is I appreciate you for reaching out to me. I love all of those who are my colleagues, my fellow organizers. I appreciate all of you. But I want you to know, I will not cower to the opposition. I will not be silenced, and I will not be afraid. I will take whatever measures that I need to protect my family first and foremost, but I will not stop doing what I'm doing. If you think these coordinated attacks are going to somehow, I'm just going to fall off the face of the earth, unless somebody assassinates me, I'm out here. And what I'll say to people, because people will say, Linda, these people are really vicious, and we see these things that people write about you online. There's nothing that I can do about people who are vicious, who are violent, who make threats against women, who are misogynist, who support a man in the White House who has been accused of sexual assault. Like, I don't know what you want me to do about those people. I'm not in this country, and I'm not living here and born here and work here to tell anybody else what to do. I only know what I'm going to do. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep my head held high. I am grateful for the work that I'm able to do. I am grateful for my colleagues, my sisters at the Women's March, my brothers and sisters at the New York Justice League, my family at the Arab American Association of New York, my homies at empowerchange.org who always holding me down, all my colleagues and my best friends and my family, biological family, my family in the movement, they're holding me down. So I have enough love in my life that I protect myself with that type of love. But what really protects me, the thing that really puts that barrier up for me where I never have to choose fear, is that I'm Muslim. My faith protects me. I am very confident in who I am and what I do. I love my faith. My faith gives me hope. It gives me courage. And I will not be silenced by any opposition. I will not defend my record of commitment and consistent social justice work for the past 16 years of my life. And let's get some stuff straight. 16 years, I am 37 years old. So 16 years is almost half of my life. So I want you to know that I chose this life, and I will continue to do this work, and I will not cower to the opposition. The CUNY Graduate Center will not cower to this opposition. And what I say to all of you here, that this work, I'm trilingual. I don't need to do social justice work. I don't need to hustle to pay my rent and to support my children, including my son who's about to go into college. So I want you to know that this work that people like me do is sacrificial work. We don't have to do this work. I could be working in corporate America and be doing just quite right. But I chose this work, and I will continue to do this work. I will not allow anybody to criminalize me based on my faith. I will not allow people to criminalize me based on my ethnicity and my national origin, which is Palestinian. Palestine exists. Palestinians exist. We exist. We have a voice. We have an opinion, and we will share it. You don't like my opinion. You don't agree with what I have to say. That's fine. You don't have to agree with what I have to say. I'm not working out here to convince 340 million Americans that they need to agree with my political positions. I don't agree with half the people in my family on their political position. This is not about I'm out here because I need people to endorse my agenda. My agenda is very clear. I value the sanctity of life, which is why I fight for Black lives. I believe that all people residing in these United States of America deserve to be treated with dignity and respect. And that is why I am committed to protecting and defending undocumented immigrants, because they are our family, they are our neighbors. I stand up every single day as an example to my own daughters, because these monsters out here are trying to make me into a monster. I'm a mother. I'm a mother whose daughter just had a birthday yesterday. I come home, I do laundry, I have to do the dishes. Like, I'm still a normal human being. So the reason why I'm even telling you all of this is because I want to tell folks who are activists, especially those on college campuses, do not ever allow anybody to make you feel less than who you are. Do not ever let anybody tell you who you need to be, or to use their definition of what they believe is your religion on you, so you have to defend yourself against the bigot. Absolutely not. That is not what I will do. And I will continue to stay steadfast, and I will protect myself and take the measures to protect myself, which I already do and have done. But if there comes that moment, sisters and brothers, I am content with the life that I live. I live the honorable life. I live the life of justice, a life of commitment. I am grateful for all the opportunities that have come to me. And I want you to know that what bothers me the most is when young people and college students are sending me text messages worried for my life. And you know what they really mean? They really mean, Sister Linda, I'm not going to be able to do what you do. But I want you to know that you could do what I do. Because we are the majority. They are losing power, and they want to take that power away from us. This is how white supremacy works, people. I don't see people of color threatening me with violence. Never had any black person threaten me with violence. Never had a Latino or an Asian American or a Native American or an Arab American. I never had people of color threaten me with violence. That just never happened. So if you don't want to agree with me, don't agree. If there's an event that I'm having or I'm speaking at a university and you don't like what I have to say, don't come. Now, for the folks that want to talk about trying to compare me to someone like Milo or Ann Coulter, let's get some stuff straight. Actually, I don't care. Ann Coulter can speak wherever she wants, okay? But when people say freedom of speech, I'm all about freedom of speech. I'm a freedom of speech absolutist. But there's a little line that there kind of has to be a line. And this is where the line is for me, okay? Just so folks, and you don't have to agree. The line is when you are a person who incites violence on other people. When you talk about that there should be eradication of people, or we need to exterminate a country from a particular group of people. Like, if a speaker gets to that level, I don't care who the speaker is. If they could be from the left or from the right or from the middle, I don't care where they're from. You can say anything that I don't agree with. But if you are a person that vilifies my religion, I actually don't have a problem with that. You do you, and you say what you need to say. But do not think that you can incite violence against immigrants or against Muslims or against LGBTQ communities or any segment of community and think that we're just going to sit back and allow that to happen. Okay? I also don't endorse people who commit acts of violence outside of these events of places with people they don't agree with. That's not how I operate. I am grateful to have learned from the School of Kingian Nonviolence in my work at the New York Justice League with Carmen Perez. She has taught me to engage in 6 principles, Kingian nonviolence, the 6 principles. And I have suspended judgment. I have targeted evil and not those committing evil. I have engaged in a type of organizing that uplifts people, that makes people believe in their own potential, that the power does not lie in the corporations. The power does not lie with Assemblyman Dov Hikind or with Rob Castorino or whatever his name from Staten Island is, who is another petty white man who wants to get a little fame in a newspaper on my back. Tired of it. They want to talk about my religion, and they want to talk about how I follow a religion that is full of misogyny and all this other stuff. Look, there are plenty of Muslim misogynists out there. Lots of them. And there are also plenty of patriarchy culturally in some of the cultures that we come from. No one denies that. But I'm not going to sit back and allow you to vilify my religion. I'm going to allow you to tell a Muslim woman like me that I don't have a voice, that I can't speak on certain platforms, because there's always going to be someone that's going to tell us we don't deserve a place. And I will tell you this much. I earned my place. I didn't just stroll up one morning 3 months ago at the Women's March. I've been doing this work for 16 years. I helped lead a campaign to incorporate Muslim holidays into the New York City public school system. I have been part of campaigns to bring police reform legislation to protect all New Yorkers. I have been part of campaigns to ensure that immigrants have access to our public schools. I have been part of campaigns that have protected people against hate crimes. I've done all of this, right? So what I'm saying to you today, and my message is with all the stuff that I have on my face today, because I am going to a gala, because my life will continue, is that I want you to know that I pray to God every day to protect me, to continue to bless me. I ask God to protect my sisters in the movement, my sisters Tamika Mallory and Carmen Perez. I ask people to protect all those who are defending the rights of our fellow Americans. And guess what? Whether they want to believe it or not, is that when I say all people, I mean all people. And I mean people who don't agree with me. So I want you to, the lesson that I want everybody to get out of the situation that I am in, that I happen to find myself in all the time, is that you cannot allow people to dictate your life and what you do and how you do it and where you do it. I will not allow anybody to silence me and silence the truth that comes not from my mouth, but it comes from my heart. This is my truth. You may think your truth is yours and you hold that truth. This is my truth, and I am in this country, and I expect to be able to express my truth. My truth lies in compassion, in justice, in love, in the sanctity of all life. And I will continue to do what I do. When I walk out of my home every single day and I see my daughters, my daughters will never come look me in the eye and tell me that there is something that they can't do, because they have watched their mother persevere. They have watched their mother attacked. But guess what their mother does every day? She wakes up, she goes out into this world, and I take those attacks, and I take them with my back straight. Because you know why? The only fear that I do have is from God. I want to ensure that I live a righteous life. One, that when I wake up in the morning, I always think, what am I going to do for somebody today? And that's the kind of life that I want my children to live, and the kind of life that I hope that you want to live. So, sisters, keep your head held high. Keep doing what you're doing, especially those young people on college campuses that are reaching out to me. I got your back. Keep organizing. Keep lifting up the truth. And do not allow anybody to tell you that you are less than, or that you can't do what others do. And, to folks out there who, read things online, and I've said this in many other venues as well. When you are reading an article online, I want you to, first of all, be smart and intellectual and understand what are the sources that you're actually sharing. So if you're sharing Daily Caller or Breitbart, or if you're sharing Gateway Pundit, or you're sharing, what are the other ones? Fox News. I mean, for God's sakes, people, let's get, come on, work with me here, right? And, if you're also trying to judge me by some disjointed tweets over the course of 8 years, so you want to pick out a tweet that I wrote in 2011 and then one in 2015 and then one in 2016 and try to thread a little needle through them, no. That's just lazy, is what I got to say. It's because you can't find anything substantial, right? The fact that you want to paint a picture and otherize me, which is, by the way, when they start with the leadership, what they're trying to do here, it's fascism, right? This is InfoWars is another good one. Blaze is another good one. Thanks, Cameron, for that. Those are other media sources that you might want to, check out before you start sharing them online. So when you want to also talk about someone else's religion, right? And you want to, if you are a person that learns about another religion through some poorly designed memes online, right? Or you want to learn about Islam from some known Islamophobes labeled hate groups, or you want to learn about Islam from Google, for God's sakes, you're doing it all wrong. That's just not how you do it. You want to learn about Muslims? Why don't you talk to a Muslim? Why don't you go down the street and meet your Muslim neighbor? Why don't you talk to who I would guarantee is one of your doctors, right? Why don't you talk to fellow students on your college campuses who are Muslim? Why don't you talk to the deli owner or the taxi cab driver, right? Why don't you talk to your colleague at your corporation sitting 6 cubicles down from you? If you really want to know about Muslims, or you want to have a relationship with Muslims, you got to make some real Muslims. So if you are a person that wants to debate me about my religion by quoting a meme that somebody put together that has a guy's head chopped off of it, you're doing it all wrong. And I'm not going to debate you. It's not because I can't debate you. It's because I will not engage your idiocy. It shows me your level of intellect is very low. And I don't got time for that. I don't got time to debate people who want to tell me what Sharia is because they Googled it online and the first thing that came up became what Sharia is, okay? Everything that people complain or are saying that is wrong about something that is written in a strict scripture, and some of it is not even written in scripture, is things that you could pull out of any other Abrahamic faith. So you want to talk about homosexuality in Islam? I can pull out the same language in the Bible, and I can pull out the same language in the Torah, right? I'm not, you don't see me out here focusing on vilifying Jews and their scripture or vilifying Christians and their scripture. That's just not how it is. We live in 2017. I expect a lot more from people. And I expect people to be a little bit more intellectual. I expect people to read. It's called reading is fundamental. Leading is reading is fundamental, and reading is fundamental. Read. Ask questions, but do not impose something you learned on Google or you learned from an Islamophobe who is not Muslim about my religion. I'm sorry. I'm expecting more from my fellow Americans. So what I'm saying to you today here and is I'm doing me. Like I'm going to do another plug for Legitimatic. So I have all this stuff on my face because I'm going to a gala tonight. And I went to Legitimatic, which is an all-women salon. All women are welcomed. You don't have to be a woman from a particular religious faith or a woman from any particular nationality or race. Every woman who wants to be in an all-women space and feel comfortable can go to Legitimatic, which is in Bay Ridge on 5th Avenue. And Huda, who is the owner, did my makeup. And I love it. And it's fabulous. I don't usually put all that stuff and eyelashes and stuff, but I'm doing it today. And I want to say to folks here that I want people just not to be discouraged. That's it. And I know that a lot of you get discouraged on my behalf. And I know that you feel, I feel like a lot of people, sometimes reaching out to me and being like, we got your back, Sister Linda, like, keep doing you, whatever. I'm sorry that this is happening to you. You don't have to apologize for racists and bigots. You don't have to apologize for men who make it their business to attack women who are doing public social justice work. There has never been a person in history that you ever uplifted that has not been vilified in the way that I have. And I'm not saying that I am anywhere near a Dr. Martin Luther King or anywhere near a Malcolm X or anywhere near an Ella Baker or any other women leader historically, a Gloria Steinem that has been attacked viciously by people who were in their opposition. I'm not them. I still got a lot more work to do to become even a half of those human beings. But you know what? I'm an effective leader. I resonate with the masses. You don't have to be Muslim. You don't have to be Palestinian to feel my authenticity, to feel my heart, to see that I'm committed to this work from a very deep and spiritual place. And because of that, they are in a coordinated effort to bring me down. So I want to say this to all of you. I'm out here, and I'll be out here as long as God wants me out here. I'm not afraid. I will never be afraid. All I ask from you is to continue to support my work, to pray for me, ask God to protect me and my family. I'm starting tomorrow. I will be doing a tour in the Northeast. I'll be in 4 different universities, bringing my truth to students who need to understand that the moment is now to be part of the opposition and the resistance to this administration and those who support this type of administration. We've got a lot of work to do to protect our people. Got